Oh, shoot. That means I've been talking all this long time and no one heard me. Oh my gosh. I'm not repeating myself. I'm not. Read lips. Lakeisha, thank you for letting me know that you cannot hear me. Thank you, Malika, for letting me know that you cannot hear me. So real quick, just real quick, give me grace. That's what I was telling y'all. Give me grace. 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 I'm trying to tell you, I was running my mouth and nobody heard me. Now, some of y'all can read lips, so y'all know what I was saying. I know y'all do. Because I see some of y'all in this chat, and I know that y'all are real good at reading lips. Some of y'all was at MCIW. Some of y'all was at Patuxent. Some of y'all was in, I know y'all know how to read lips. So I pass the message because I'm not repeating all of that. But what I will say is it is with a heavy heart that I inform you all, especially those that have been at the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women. It is with a sad heart that I inform you that we have lost one of our beloved, one of our freedom fighters, one of our soldiers, Michelle Blythe. Yes, she's no longer with us. And I was asking you all to give me a little grace today, because y'all get it. Without further ado, because I am not repeating all of that, I am going to bring up this gentleman. Oh, he was telling me too. I want you to switch and go into the regular comments, because he was telling me too. Now y'all see, I'll pay attention. I need my partners.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
just start sweating and it's some more stuff. But they know how I am. We live, and that's just what it is. We
yeah.
just move on and go with it, laugh about it, and just move on. But forgive me, Lord, I
There
was
we
just running
go.
my mouth and nobody heard a thing I said. But anyway,
Did
so
you wanna take a moment and pray for the situation, or
sure, go ahead.
I was asking you to because you knew the lady. I didn't, and you know the other people who she made mean
But
something to. So,
you know God.
all right, hearts and minds on the Lord.
That's right.
God, we thank you for another day. Even in a time where things are tough, we know that you have a purpose for it all. We thank you for the time that the woman has shared with everybody that she's touched. We thank you that she means so much to everybody's lives that are on this podcast is able to see this in this stream. We ask that you don't let it be in vain. Be able to go forward with whatever she's done for people in service in the name of incarceration, in the name of the women that need her, in the name of doing service. God, we just ask that you use everybody that are able to push forward, that know what it is that you have put in our hearts and our minds to be able to do your service in this world. We ask that you be a comfort to everybody that needs it. We thank you, love you, and I ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you
You're
for that.
welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, let's just rock and roll. I thank you for obliging me. We had had the shift, so I thank you for your flexibility. Um, before we get into it, I would like for you to introduce yourself and welcome to the Pusher community. I want you to introduce yourself to those that are in attendance, because now this is your family, this is your tribe. This is the people that another group of people that will support you in your endeavors and things that you're doing. You never know who's watching. You never know who has the blessing that you need, who has the key to unlock the door that you want to go through. And so in this particular community, that's what we do. We support one another. We pour into one another as best as we can, without complaint. So I just want you to take this time and introduce yourself how you see fit to your new family?
Okay, everybody. I'm what you get when you can't afford Common to come on your show. Hey, you don't know how much I get that. Like I used to get it in the joint all the time. I did a poem about it and everything. But I'm J.S. Russell. Um, and I wrote my freedom. That's my brand, writing freedom. Um, was incarcerated for 12 years, convicted of first degree murder. Not my mistake. I am who you see. Currently, I am a community developer, mentoring the youth with PG County Behavioral Health under the Health Department. Bridges to Success. I facilitate with Chris Wilson Foundation, helping those that's incarcerated. And I turned my pain into purpose. Um, the connection with Asabi is that I was incarcerated with her brother, man, real good man. And that was a blessing to be able to discover that because our interaction was a pivotal point in my incarceration where it actually caused a paradigm shift. And what I mean is that we had a meeting, and this was set up because we didn't know each other, but he spoke so well at a legal seminar. And we sat down in the library, and after, filling each other's out, asking some questions, I asked him, so how do we get out of here? And he answered, when you find that out, you let me know. And so that was one of the things where I had to realize at that point in time that I had to learn from people who actually done it, not people that were still incarcerated. And that became a journey in which I was going on, which I had already been on to go above and beyond what I seen people doing in order to obtain their freedom. Now, generally, people say, get in the law library. But for everybody that knows about that, that the law can be very ambiguous, excuse me. And if you don't know where to start, it can take a long time before you get there, and there's still no guarantee. Then I, learned a lot from older guys that had been in there because a lot of the people that I was around had nearly 20 years in, over 20 years in, and I had no desire to take 2 decades in prison. So I had to look at what they did and what they didn't do. So, of course, faith, relying on God, because that's what got me free, and the work. As they say, faith without works is dead. So if you do faith with the works, and here you get me live in effect, free out here, being able to do this work.
Wow, I like that. So how much time did you do?
I did 12 years, a little bit over 12 years.
Okay, and how other than that, so let me pick your brain because I know that it's different for men being incarcerated than it is for women. So it's like I shared with you, I've had experiences, with this particular laws, it hits deep with me because I have a relationship with this individual. This is an individual that I've grew up. She watched me grow up. She watched me transform. And as I transform, she begins to transform as well. And which means we begin to do the work together. And so we were in the trenches together doing this work, going against the grain, going against even our past, the things that the images and, when you first get incarcerated, you want to make a name for yourself. You don't want people to take advantage of you, to play with you. It all depends on your mentality and how you go in. But I know for me to have someone who was a little older than me care about me that much, we have experienced loss. So have you, throughout the 12 years of your incarceration and some change, have you experienced loss in losing comrades, associates, friends in prison while you were there?
Through COVID, there was some loss, even through some stuff on the compound, where just medical ain't take care of that business, but nothing that really hit, as close like that. I mean, the biggest thing that I could say is dealing with, I'm saying, the man Ishmael that was on the tier with me. And honestly, I think during that COVID time, he might have wanted to go. He was an older gentleman. I liked Ishmael. Ishmael was damn near a sports almanac. He'd tell you about everything, and everything was, yeah, nah, I don't do it that way, He was against everything else that what somebody else said. But that was the most memorable one. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you, the hardest losses were people that I cared about on the outside. And it's so much about my incarceration too that had got me callous, not feeling how other people felt with different things. That it was just like, sometimes it was just like, I don't even know how to process this when I'm fighting for my own, freedom in my own life, because I very much felt like I was buried alive at times, you know.
Mm.
So it's like certain things were very, very hurtful, like my grandmother, or my people's Marlon mom, Maxine, certain things with people that meant something to me. But outside of that, inside, I can't. Nah, I can't even
So how
remember.
did you go through those losses while incarcerated? Like, what did you do to help get you through? And now we can see you free.
Depending
Indeed.
on which one it was, I might have got drunk and cried. I mean, like, man, took that time. Certain losses didn't even hit me as hard. Like my father passed, and I love my father. We had our unique relationship, but it wasn't, one of those things where, like, grandma, you know,
Right.
grandma, I think that was the hardest. And what's so crazy is grandma loss came not even 2 weeks after my Maxine. So it was just like, we in COVID and they calling me to them phones. We ain't nobody else getting on the phone. Go call your family. Then it just happened again. At the same time, with nothing but a bunch of black people getting killed on TV, Trump talking all this other stuff from his first, term. And then there's just like so much that was just going on. But I mean, hey,
Right.
what can you do? Because I know guys that done had obituary stacks like this that looked like they was, a 52 deck of cards. So,
Right.
it's 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 one of those things where for me, I dealt what I did to process and deal with my feelings and still understand that everybody is going through their thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that fast forward, now that you are free, hold up. You said something. I should have wrote it down. Dang. Knowing that my mind is not here right now. Dang. You said something. It'll come to me. So I'll ask you the last part. You said something about what's your brand? You said something freedom,
Writing freedom.
writing freedom. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so and it's crazy, man. I got a good man out here now, man. Greg, he was like, man, because I had been telling people for a long time I was gonna write my freedom. He's like, man, that nigga delusional. Like, right. So through a lot of my writings, I mean, not through a lot of my readings, I've seen how powerful the word is, and actually, you know, the written word as well as the spoken word. So that was just one of the things that I was determined to do. So um, when I began starting this collection of poetry in the county jail, because I lost everything going in there. I dealt with a woman, turned state. She, did whatever she did with my property, you know, and that's a whole nother story. But with me losing my body of work before, I said, man, I'm not going to do that again. So kept my writings, and because I realized that stuff that I wrote in the past created my present, I said, let me write this differently, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And why I say that is because there's not a whole lot of poems that I remember from what I wrote before that I lost, but I do remember writing this particular poem where I say, motherfuckers should be glad I don't own a gun. Moms would be taking trips to prison to visit her only son. I'm mad, frustrated, and discontent. The cause of committing violent crimes and getting bent. So I ain't have a gun at the time, but that's what ended up happening. So I said, that's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to write that way. I'm not going to, put things in that perspective. So, though I would write, and poetry was my form of writing, a lot of times I did free writes, I did some other stuff too, but it was like, let me use this power because what First John say? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God,
Yes,
and
sir.
nothing was created without. So understanding that, um, I was going to utilize it. I was reading a bunch of books, Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh, all of these other books that was basically had biblical principles, in them, just telling you, believe and ask. I mean, ask and believe it is so, write it down, make it plain. All of the stuff that just using would work for other people.
Right.
And so my freedom was what I desired. I had got sentenced to life all suspended, but 50 years. And I told you I ain't want to see 2 decades in there.
Right.
You know, my goal was just 10. Right. And it may seem insane, like, who wants to do any time? But I knew I was guilty. It's just a matter of, all right, I'm gonna give y'all people y'all's, give me a chance to go ahead and, do the rest of what I need to do. And that's what I was focused on. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just knew that I was going to do my darndest to learn what I needed to do, whether it was going to be the law, whether it was going to be me advocating for myself, somebody else advocating for me. I don't know. That part was left up to God, but I was going to do my work.
Right. So how long have you been home?
It's a little over 2 years now. October 9th made 2 years that I was um totally released, like released back into the community. But I left RCI um April 28th, 2023.
Okay, wow. And so what have you been doing since then? Within
Well,
this 20 within the 2 years that you've been home, because I know you had a plan. You already said your mind was made up. You wasn't
mhm,
trying to spend over a decade in
mhm,
a people place. And you did that. You found a way and you figured it out from that one question, that one conversation, listening, and you realized that you had to learn not from the people that were there, but for the people that it worked for, the people that use whatever method they use to get out. You had to learn from those people. And
mhm.
then the people that were there, you still had to learn what they were doing that wasn't working. And you found, by being in the middle and using both ends of the spectrum, you found a way to be free. And that's impressive. And I'm like, salute to you, sir, for figuring it out. Especially a man that's saying, I'm guilty. I know I'm guilty, but I'm not being no, 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 I'm not giving y'all all it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it and I appreciate it. But tell us, what are some things that you've been doing?
So I established Inspiring Word LLC. That same month I got out, created that, which is my publishing company, because I had self-published 8 books while I was incarcerated, 2 children's books, 6 poetry books, and definitely I got to give credit to the good man Sean Gardner, who's still in there fighting a life sentence in the state and the feds, because he came from North Branch and started having a self-publishing class in the library, which was very impressive because I didn't know too many guys that were in that had their own programs and was able to teach that, especially somebody that just came on the compound. I was like, oh man, this nigga different. Like, what's going on? Like, but not only that, he had his own group called the Behind the Wall Mentors, right? So he's been somebody that had a plan. So it was somebody like that that I could look and observe. And I mean, the good man Marco Lomax, who's also with the BTW Mentors, took the church. I see him. He shouted out something. I'm not sure if he's still on here, but so there was a group of us that took the class, and we were serious about our work. And our work wasn't just creating the books, but also making sure that young people didn't do what we did. So of course, it was continuing on with them, and that's like the first place we met, where he was able to help Lady J create those, award ceremonies, and the rest of it was all right. Learning my business, I've been taking the time to republish a lot of my work. Um, I also been blessed. See, I came through PG County Reentry Program, and I'm not sure if you've ever been to PG County Courthouse, but PG County Courthouse, to me, because I've been in a lot of courthouses, unfortunately, they don't look like that. You don't have a lot where it's this big courthouse with a bunch of black people being employed. So I said, this is an opportunity. So I took it as I'm gonna come up the court every time I got to, because it was like every Wednesday or every other Wednesday or whenever it was, and treat this like pretty much a interview, a job interview, because I felt like I had something that a lot of people don't. I don't know too many other people that then came home in 12 years off of first degree murder. I don't know too many people who have done the work on personal development and actually have the work as to help other people doing it. So it was like, let me see how I can be of service, because it's a lot of people that look like us behind them bars when we not the majority. So some things have to change. And I had the vision while I was in, especially after watching a documentary where it was a jail over in Eastern Europe. I'm not sure exactly the location. I need to look it up because I mentioned this stuff. But the lady said we have a lot of open cells because we work on rehabilitation from day one. And in my experience, and it may be yours in the Maryland state system, a lot of time we got lack of staffing. So we can't get the programs. We don't have the people and like you said, some people have the wrong idea of coming in prison. Oh, I gotta make a name. Now, fortunately for me, I did almost 3 years in the county jail. So all of the dumb stuff I got through in the beginning. So I knew how to navigate once I got into the state system, to where I didn't have to deal with infractions or things like that, So and I've been blessed because it did provide a job for me. So I worked for Prince George's County Health Department with Bridges to Success as a mentor to youth that get referred to us by DJS. And my whole goal with that is, deterring them from going, the route that I did. And along with that, also a facilitator with the Chris Wilson Foundation, which his book, when a conversation with your brother, was a paradigm shift. His book, along with D'Amico Booth's Getting Out, Staying Out, the master plan was an example of this is what you do. So after reading and learning of those that had successfully done what I've done, I could see that I was on track. Now our situations was different, and the way that we were able to get our freedom was different, but it was like, this is what it is. And I just started my nonprofit, Conscious Growth, and still trying to learn everything that I need to, because it's different now.
Oh, sorry.
Get you some water. You okay?
Yeah. So what is that about? What you say, conscious what?
Conscious growth.
Conscious growth. What is that about?
So Basically, conscious, and I have it CON-science. It's a play on that because in Latin means with science, but conscience in itself deals with, having morality, you know what I'm saying? Moral,
Mhm.
knowing, right from wrong. And together that's how we're supposed to be growing. So the aim is the same pretty much as just the publishing company deals with the books, but it's still aimed at the incarcerated population, the returning citizens, the at-risk youth, every person that I was and that I am. I'm just trying to aid in making sure that people have the tools to what they need to be successful, to be productive citizens. You
Right.
know,
So you out, so 2 years, you doing a lot, brother. You are doing a lot. That's what's up. Congratulations to you. I am excited for all the endeavors that you are committing yourself to. Um, shout outs to you. So I definitely gotta bring you back, especially the with the dude that you are in partnership with. I
oh,
definitely
yeah,
gotta have both of y'all back in live in person. Um,
yeah,
'Cause that would be fun. Um,
definitely,
and I don't want to. I want you to talk a little bit about that too. But before I get into that, you mentioned Marco. I gotta get him on here. Um,
definitely.
I definitely gotta get him on here. He's a good brother. I met him. Didn't know that this was another gentleman that my brother knew. Um, and I like how that happens. I like to meet people not knowing who they are so that I can assess and make my decision purely off of the energy and the communication. I never build relationships off of the strength of other people. It's no secret. I love my brother, my twin. That is my dude forever in a day. That is my dude, but I don't base my relationships off of him. So I'm grateful that I was able to meet, um, especially you two, before knowing who y'all were.
Mhm.
That we had a mutual person in our lives. So I definitely got to have a conversation with him, and I like the work that he's doing. Anyway, back to you and the great work that you are doing. Um, Something that I noticed and within me, within the population of those that are now free, physically free from that valley, how do you self-care? How are you transitioning personally, like with family and friends and meeting new people? How do you make space for that, and at the same time you on your grind, you working, you out here hustling, you out here, doing, handling your business, and bringing purpose into your freedom, so you're not just free just to be free, you free and you're active. I want to know how what does it your reentry look like out here
Okay.
without
First,
all the without working, without the grind and all that.
so first, definitely shout out to Marco Lomax with Defining What's Missing. That's his book, and he also has a workbook. Like I read it, did a review while I was in. It was a great read. But for me, definitely had the therapy in the beginning because the transition is real, and I'll talk about my own. Um, I can't really say what my mother's expectations were, but it
Mm,
probably wasn't what the reality was. Coming home, a man, nearly 40, and I went in while I was 25. I was already doing some stuff, that we ain't really got to speak on, but I thought I was grown in, but I really didn't feel like I truly matured until I was 28. All of this is away from family. Now, so the transition and going into a household that wasn't mine was tough because there was other things that went on. Um, our relationship is great now, but that's because I'm not in our house. And I think the space that's needed. Um, my relationship with my daughter is not what I thought. And that was something that was a surprise too. But I mean, I just got to respect what things are. So between therapy, prayer, and understanding, after a while, that I pretty much had to do like I did while I was in, focus on me, you know. And that was one of the things, you learn that in there. Like, you can't depend on nobody on the outside. You gotta make sure you doing what you needed to, because they don't understand. And it's the same thing when you transition and nobody understands, because they've been in this world. They've been doing that. We stepping in until they situation. And coming from living in bathrooms, of course we have a standard of how we live and deal with certain things, and certain things we just like, it's not necessary. And still compromising and understanding with people are, but people may not be as compromising and understanding as we are. And it's like, gotta take a breather, because it's like, y'all out here playing. I came from a place that's very violent. It can be, and you have to be able to deal with people with respect, also still be assertive, you know. And I'm not trying to come off as any type of way, because I care and I want to be here, but you don't know how to take me. I know how to deal with you, but your uncomfort is different from how I know how to deal with, and it's just one of those things, just assessing the situation and moving on the best way I can, because it's like at certain points there's not a whole lot that I can do.
Right.
And then once I can, then I am, you
Right.
know. And you know how it is if you ever been in there with a bad sale buddy. Somebody got to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't my house, so I got to go. It's yours, you can have it. And even when I was in, I used to feel like that would do, like, this is the state stuff. You can have it. Let me go ahead and do what I need to best for me, because of what I want and what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And that's still this returning back to that mentality. Is still just so learning the best ways to deal with it out here, with different tools, with
Right.
different time, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that that I'm struggling with today,
Mm-hmm.
right now, and I pray, like I've been asking God, ever since I got the phone call about Michelle Blythe. I've been just asking God to make sense of this for me. Um, because I grew up in prison. Um, so my family is in
Mm-hmm.
prison. Some of them, anyway, still are in prison. The people that I grew up with, the people, it's just like family. You fuss and then y'all good. Then
Yeah.
y'all go work out together, go do something together, go to lunch, dinner, whatever. Walk the compound, y'all talk it out, thug it out, y'all good. Um, I had a lot of those kinds of experiences with those that I still hold dear to my heart. And I don't talk to everybody that is home now, because my focus is those that are still held captive. You're free now. You're free. Now it's up to you, like you're doing. You're choosing to utilize your freedom differently. And for me, it's like I pray that my passion for this work that I'm doing don't fade because of um the connection that I had with somebody. And now that I'm free, the promise, the word that I gave her outside of my twin, I'm going to do my best, whatever it is, to get you home. And I kept my word and I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I find myself like, God, please make sense of this. It could have been, this is not a situation where it was natural. It's not a situation where, okay, God, I hear you. I see you. This is a situation that could have been prevented. Is something that you said earlier, that a lot of people out here that has never had that experience don't understand. Like when you out here and you get sick, hopefully you got insurance, but you can still go get seen. You can go walk to the hospital. You can catch an Uber. You can ride to the hospital. But when you are incarcerated, it's a process. It's a process even to be seen by those that are caretakers that work in the medical field. You can't walk in there and say that this is wrong and they fix it. You got to fill out a sick call slip. You gotta hopefully you have an officer that has compassion that'll write your pass and send it to you. And when you have that and you get there and they just keep sending you back because to them you are an inmate.
Mm-hmm.
You are an inmate. That means I give you this Tylenol, you go back to your housing unit and lay down somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't see the humanity. It's not an experience where it's a humanity experience. It is you are an inmate. So whatever I do or whatever I say, that's what it is. And it bothers me. It angers me. And now I find myself back in this place where I feel like survivor's remorse again. Um, Now I find myself like I need to, what do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Um, Put me on the front line so I can get these people out. Because they're human beings. I met some amazing people in prison. I met the most creative, the most talented, the most giving, the most special people while I was there. I'm one of them. It takes one to know one. I'm one of them. And when you love from a place that is unconditional, and you love from a place that is real when you learn what it is. And for me, um, it's just difficult. It is even right now sitting here and I'm listening to you. I'm like, dang, this girl, she won't get the experience what we are experiencing, like so many others that I've lost in there while I was there. Don't get the chance to see this side and make something of it. Don't get that opportunity. That hurts, especially
Yeah.
when you know the individual has postured him or herself to do the work, not so you can let me home, but I have reason within myself that while I'm here, I'm going to discover my purpose and I'm going to make the best of it. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to murmur. And matter of fact, I'm going to show you, I'm going to help other people get out. That was her spirit. That was the type of person she was. She was the jailhouse lawyer. You get in trouble, give her your ticket. She'll represent you. She was good at what she did. Now, if you was wrong, she gonna give you an earful, but she gonna represent you like ain't no tomorrow. But you gonna hear the truth from her, even if she gets you off. You gonna hear the truth. She just was one of those real ones. She's an OG. Will forever be an OG to me because she's one of the first older people that I met when I got down there. Um, it's troubling my heart. It really is. And right now it's just like the people that, of course, people that don't have this experience, they understand to a degree because pain is pain, you know. Loss is loss, grief is grief, and everybody experience it and maybe may experience it differently, but the truth of the matter is pain is pain.
I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Live for, live for, because the pain, that's something that we experience because of our emotions. That's what I think it is. We have these attachments to people. We have an attachment to these experiences. We have attachment to the love and everything that we felt. But she free now, not free the way that we think about it.
Right.
The good brother Joe Moore was a co-facilitator. It was coming through the reentry program, and because of something that happened in the reentry program, he didn't graduate and see freedom like I did throughout that program, and passed away just before that. And it was just like, for me, I was like, at least he didn't have to do it in there, you know. And it's very, very tough when people have to, because I'm just thinking, like I said, I talk about Ishmael, it was dude blue, another dude love, these guys that, had to, you know, they don't have to deal with it no more because it's still a struggle out here.
Yeah,
But
no doubt.
we have a purpose, right? You got this platform, you doing what you need to do. And sometimes I feel a little bad because I not necessarily in a position where I'm just looking out for everybody in there, but I make it my business to do the work so that the door becomes open. I go back into Upper Marlboro to give the guys the information, which Upper Marlboro is the drill. But it's still guys that's in RCI that I feel like I know y'all ain't heard from me. I know y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? And that fell away. Even I understand now when people call me and they want the stuff put on the phone and stuff, and I'm working and I can't really maneuver that way. And it's like, it's a different thing on this side. And
Right,
I'm experiencing that, but I'm making it my business to carry on the plan in which I said I'm gonna do.
right,
And you're doing that. Everything that she invested in you, everything in the relationship in which you had, because you know how she was, you able to continue on.
right.
And it's just that, like, those people that I dealt with and they helped me along the process and stuff like that, they
Mhm.
gonna know it ain't in vain. I ain't out here BSing, like, for real. Like, all right, you might not hear, but you gonna hear, you
Right,
know. And that's what I say, like, live for. Live for. If you gotta take, some more to dedicate it or make sure people know, whatever, because, everybody may not know who Catherine Russell is from coming across her. They
right,
may not know who Clyde is, but they gonna know who I am, and I'm gonna make sure that they know.
right,
You know what
right,
I'm saying? And it's just that's how I feel. Like, it's just people love us, and it's we all gotta go. It's just
right,
a matter of how we going to share our knowledge, our wisdom, our experience, our love with other people, so that we can invest in others like others have invested in us.
right,
you know
right,
so that's what I say, like, take all of that, take the hurt, take the frustration, take all that and use it, you
right.
know because it's messed up. This is what I've been hearing for a long time, that the women don't get it like the men, and I'm trying to figure out, like, it's one of those things where I would love to do what I can, because who helped me while I was in?
Who?
Mostly women. So it's like, women not being able to get, I said that gotta change. It has to
Mm.
change, and it's just work that has to be done, So we
So,
do.
what is something, I'm glad you said that. What is something that you are doing or willing to do to kind of restore the relationship between, especially in our community, Black women and men, Black and brown? Um, what have you done, or what are you doing, or what do you plan to do to help restore the barriers that is between us?
I mean, I really, my goal for a long time is to be a good man, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it has its challenges, because I'm gonna tell you for real, when you come from a place and you ain't seen no women, then you just like, oh my gosh, all of these beautiful women, what the world? So my eyes may be going everywhere, but the rest of it is discipline. And then it's like the rest of it is still respect,
Yeah.
because, you know, I don't I don't know who a person is. So it's not like me just going on for that. So the rest of it is just that. Like, I had my lady, I make sure that she, gets what she needs to. I show up for her. Me and my daughter's mother's good. She's done well, does everything that, what I'm saying, that I could, imagine as far as with my daughter. Me and my daughter relationship still is something that has to be built. And as far as me and my mother, we cool still, getting everything together. But the rest of it is for me to show up the way that I need to
Right.
and be an example.
Right.
Because when I do go in there talking to the men, this is one of the things that I've observed, right?
Mm-hmm.
A strong man changes the atmosphere, changes the
Ooh, you
environment, right?
talking.
And when I've dealt with men, it's like, okay, that's the standard. It's either you gonna rise to that, you gonna know what it is, you gonna go with that, or you not.
Right.
And my whole thing is I deal with men, and that's one of the things of why I feel that I'm good wherever I go,
Right.
you know. And then, it's that, and that's the thing that it has to be more of. Like I didn't have that coming up. I had the wrong type of examples. So I had to correct all of that. So now that I know the right examples, that's what has to be presented. And that's what I'm working to develop more of, because once the men are there, that helps out with. Because if women keep saying these guys and they not that, then of course you're going to treat them any type of way. And of course they going to go back treating because they not secure with they self. They don't know how they supposed to show up. And
Right.
it's going to be different in every situation, because a person going to have to learn too what's a good situation to be in and what's not.
Right.
But should never jeopardize your self-respect in any of that, or
Right.
accept somebody disrespecting you.
Right.
So, I mean, I would love to encourage and speak more to that, so that that part is good. Then the
Right.
men can show up better, what I'm saying, for the women. Because I got a family full of women. They not going, if you a sucker, they gonna say it. They ain't gonna be, it's not gonna be right, and hey, it can be tough, but that's the only thing that I can do is make sure that, like before, when I was given the being the wrong influence, that I'm a better influence now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Um, so yeah, that's one of my desires, to bring restoration for before even to bring awareness, one, and
Hmm.
to initiate the dialogues, because at some point we have to sit down and start having these difficult conversations. And the difficult conversation really is recognizing that you're not the problem, it's me. When we can get to that place and stop pointing fingers and take responsibility for self, then I believe that we can elevate to where we need to be, because we are the most creative, the most talented, the most prolific people out. We have one of the richest cultures that exists, and it's like my desire is that within our community is that we tap into that. But in order to tap into that, you got to go inward. You got
Hmm.
to go inward, and do the very things that you said, become self-aware and taking ownership, because at the end of the day, as an individual, you are responsible for your own growth and development. It's just like going back to the beginning, when you took your freedom and the responsibility of your freedom literally in your own hands. You did the work, you did the research, you did whatever it is that you needed to do to get you home. It took work, and you
Yeah.
didn't snap your fingers and it just happened. You didn't just pray and you woke up the next day, um and had a Paul and Silas experience where everybody was praising and the gates open.
Hmm.
It didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
It happened because you put in the work. You wanted it. You prayed. You talked to God about it, and He gave you the wisdom. That's the same way. I believe that we should function as individuals out here, as it relates to, because you could be physically free and psychologically in bondage,
Absolutely.
emotionally in bondage, spiritually in bondage. So prison isn't just physical; it's internal as well. And
Hmm.
I think that that is, what keeps us oppressed, what keeps us, at odds, not getting along. Um, Now we confused. We don't know who the man or who the woman is. We don't know who's who, because everybody is talking the same. there is no separation. I'm just saying from a spiritual aspect, like who's set apart and who's not. When everybody looks the same and sound the same, we fussing, we bickering, we arguing, we are at odds. I look at you and I see you as if you are the enemy, and that's not fair. And I'm saying for real, in real life, this is me exposing my stuff, how I used to look at men. And now that I'm home, because I was privileged, I was incarcerated with men and women throughout my incarceration. So when I came home, it was not a big deal. I was not excited. In fact, I was not in a relationship. It was not my goal to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that was something that me and Blythe always had talked about. Everything that we talked about that I wanted to do, I'm doing and more. All the prayers that we prayed, all the tears, all the writings, everything that we said we wanted, I am doing it and more. And I just was reflecting today of why am I so passionate about closing this bridge between men and women. And I realized today that I'm so passionate about it because of my own brokenness.
So, a couple things that I wanted to touch on as I was listening to you, right? When I say I wrote my freedom, I really did that. The therapeutic journaling was something that was very, very key because I did have to take responsibility and accountability. And I remember times where I've been in the county jail pretty much writing just by the light coming through, you know what I'm saying, all night to get stuff out so that I can be relieved of it and also come to a solution, right? And this is how I also receive revelation with certain things. And I can understand about the passion because we have that sense of why. Why is this happening? Why is this like this? Why didn't I have a two-parent household? Why is that da da da? But I had to accept that God was preparing me for something, right? So I go through these things so that I can help others that's going to have to go through them. And that's what I just had to realize. Like, there's a reason why I survived all of this stuff. There's a reason why I was able to come through. And it's like, as long as I'm able to do this, this is what I'm going to be doing. And we know our value. We know our value as Black people. We know our value as, children of God. So that's why we want to do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all of that. And you obviously wrote your freedom too. Right?
No
Since you
doubt.
just said that you wrote and everything that you spoke about, and it comes in. Once you discover that ability, you want to let other people know you can do this.
Right, no
This
doubt.
is how.
Right.
This is how. So that has to be shared. And it's so much. I choose my lane. And I say I'm gonna stay in this lane, you know what I'm saying, and focus on this, instead of spreading myself thin,
Right. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Staying in my lane. I found my lane. I'm in my lane. Healing out loud. That's my lane. I found where I belong on this spectrum. Because I am heels on the ground. I'd rather be on the front line, getting dirty, to put that work in. That's where I'd rather be, and looking cute while I'm doing it. But I do want, before we close out, I'm going to read something, and then I am going to ask that you kind of just give a word, especially to this particular community, because I see a lot of people on here, and I know some of their stories, and I know if I am affected, whether they knew Michelle Blythe or not, I know they are affected because they love me. So what I am going to do, I am going to read something, and then I'm going to ask you to just speak to the community, just give in words of encouragement. Yeah, because that's what we do. You ready?
All right.
Okay. So this was written in 2015. Yes, I still have it.
I got all my old stuff too.
I do. And at first I'm gonna show the cover. Remember when Michael Jackson came up with this this is it. So
Uh,
I created, this is something that I created um to get through and to bring and to help other people during tough times. And so somebody wrote something for me to put in this packet, and I'm going to read it. Um, Before I knew who God was and things went wrong in my life, I used to always blame God. And most times I would put him on trial like he was the guilty one. I thought if God loved me so much, he could easily start my life all over again and make it better. Then I accepted Christ as Lord and Savior of my life. And I found out God gave me grace, mercy, and forgiveness. God created me to worship him. He also gave me free will that comes with a devoted heart of voluntary worship. Being one of God's heirs made me realize also that brokenness, abuse, and murder is the devil's doing and not that of God. And God is not on trial, humanity is. God sent his only son, Jesus, to die for me so that I could live and have eternal life. Thank you, Lord, for saving me and changing me. Michelle Blythe.
I say we will. I'm not gonna talk for everybody else. I've had my why moments. Why is this happening to me? You know, some people say that they never question God. I definitely have, because there was no understanding, and it was just like, all right, um, I had to in order to figure out the questions that I needed. But we all got to pick up our own cross and bear it, whatever that may be. And that's one of the things when we realize this life isn't ours, right? That, you know, there's not only sacrifice, but there's obedience, which they say obedience is better than sacrifice.
That's what
And
they
you
say.
actually learn what it is that you need to do. You live the best way that you can in accordance. And it takes some time and some discovery for it. Like I had to sit down to discover why, and also realize that I'm not fragile, that I can actually endure, and that these things that I went through are for a reason. I read the story of Moses, and he had to go through 40 years of the wilderness and everything else, but he also had the education of when he was in Pharaoh's house. So he had intelligence. The rest of it is you got to go through a struggle, and you got to struggle with some people for a purpose in order to bring them to the promised land.
Oh, you're
I've read
telling
about Paul. I've read about all of these, and one of the biggest things was Joseph, where a person that wasn't even guilty of the stuff, but he had to go through stuff in order to be prepared to save a whole people.
me. Hmm.
So these are the things that we have to go through. It may be the human part of us is going to be like, why? When we don't have enough understanding. And if we blessed enough to live long enough, we know, all right, now it's time to get busy. And that cross may be heavy sometimes, but we got to pick it up and bear it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate your words of empowerment and affirmation. Um, to the pusher community, I thank you all for your time. I appreciate, you could be anywhere doing anything, but you're pushing forward with us. And I appreciate your time. We started on time. Forgive me, we are a couple minutes over. Because if we start on time, I like to end on time. But I do not like to stop God's work. Um, Neither. So we know that. So I just want to shout out a few people. Miss Cynthia, I see you. I thank you. On Ada, I thank you for showing up. Lakeisha, I see you. I thank you for showing up. Malika, Malika, this is welcome to the Pusher community, love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all got bear with me because Malika said, Malika, she been chatting. Mo, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Marco, okay, I see you. Thank you. He said, shout out to Sis and Bro. Thank you. Jasmine, I see you. I see you. I see you. Y'all was talking back tonight. Okay. I see you. I see you. Queen China, I see you. Thank you. Thank you all. Hey, Godfather, I see you. Miss Cooks, I see you. Miss Lamanda, I see you. I thank you all. I go to school same Wednesday. I'm extra late. Oh, Miss Lamanda, congratulations to you. Mr. Best said, my God, J.S. Russell. Yes, yes, yes. I appreciate everyone for giving us your attention. I definitely appreciate Mr. Russell for just allowing me to be present in my own whatever it is that I'm going through right now, just allowing me to be present in that, allowing me to talk to him, about it, and him giving space for me to even right now to not ignore what it is that I am feeling in my heart and the thoughts that I am entertaining. So, sir, I definitely appreciate that from you. I appreciate your affirmation, especially your prayer. I definitely appreciate that. I have to have you back live in person so that I can pick your brain a little bit more. Please forgive me for not being as no, I'm not going to ask for forgiveness. It just simply is what it is. Sometimes life just throws some things your way and you have a choice to make. You can honor it, how you are impacted by whatever happens. You can honor that by honoring how you feeling, but not allowing it to overtake you. Or you can allow it to overtake you and you do nothing but wallow in it. For me, because healing out loud is so important to me, I just choose to honor how I feel and not hide it and not be fake about it, because no one can meet me where I am if I'm not willing to expose what I am going through. Many of us, if we tell the truth, when we were younger, we were silent. And that we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what we were feeling. We didn't know who to go to, who we can trust when we were feeling away, who we can talk to that will understand. And so many of us remain silent, and in turn, our behavior reacted for us, communicated for us. And I am one who refuses to suffer in silence. I refuse to, because I know my healing comes out of my mouth. I like something that you said earlier about not your words, but in the language that I know it, to be impeccable with your words. The words that you speak over your life will come to life. Do not prophesy anything over your life that you do not want. I don't care how small, I don't care how big, I don't care if we joking, I don't care if we playing. Watch the words that come out of your mouth, because they are real. And words are like boomerangs. It takes one to know one. Read the book, people, and do the work. I'm trying to tell you. Oh yeah, where can we get what is the name of your publications, and where can we get them from? Let me put that information up. I have put his information up. If you want to contact him, if you want to check out his podcast, he does have a YouTube channel. I will be checking it out. If you want to purchase his books, you can scroll down and see where you can get his books from. If you wanted to be tapped into what Mr. Russell is doing, I am going to encourage you to go to his social media handles, share, like, and subscribe to what he is doing. He is a man that is free. And now that he is free, he is operating in his freedom in its totality. And so let's get behind him. Let's rally behind him, support whatever it is that he has going on, because he's not doing this just for a pat on the back. He's doing it because it's the work that needs to be done in our community. And because of that, let's support that as a community. With that said, I love you all. I love you all. Keep praying for me sincerely as I pray for you. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I mean, absolutely nothing. You can't pay for it. You can't talk me out of it. You can't buy me nothing. You can't. It is already done. I love you unconditionally. Why? Because someone loves me unconditionally, and I love me unconditionally. And so I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Any final words, sir?
Um, yeah, so I do have some children's books, and they're really geared towards the children that have incarcerated parents. So those are all what they call ebooks. So Malia, Daddy and the Magical Mashed Potatoes and Gravy. I wanted to highlight that out since we going around the holiday season, and literacy is a big thing. The other one is The Princess, the Dragon, and the Wizard and the Golden Pumpkin. And the last one is Jasmine Journey. Jasmine Journey, especially get that. That is a story of a fairy that visits the children um, who have incarcerated parents and allow them to spend time with their parents in the dream.
Wow.
And also, it even touches on, children that have been separated by their family on the border. So some of these things can seem a little sad, but for those that have children that actually go along with it, I think it'd be something good that could give them comfort. The rest of my books, poetry, Live from the Pen 1 and 2, they have questions for therapeutic journaling. Writing Freedom, Volume 1 and Volume 2 available. Volume 3 coming soon. Love Locked In, those love poems while I was in. And Poems from a Prison Church available. And then Do the Time, Don't Let the Time Do You. I'm going to send that to you so you can give it to everybody free, whoever wants it. That's for a guide for those that's incarcerated. And then I have that
So wait,
workbook.
hold up. You want me get it to people that are currently incarcerated?
Whoever you want to, you share it. I'm gonna make sure you got the PDF and you share it however you feel.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
and
you. Thank
the
you for
workbook is Turning Adversity into Advantage, and I'm got the men inside Upper Marlboro working out of that now with the Right and Freedom program. So
that. Okay. So do you do the Right and Freedom program here too?
I'm working on all of that. Working on it. When I get to flesh everything out, yeah, definitely gonna make sure that happens.
Okay, great. So yes, when you get that, I want to be in the class workshop, whatever
Okay.
it is. I want to take
Right.
it. So definitely let me know, and I'll bring others along on the journey as well. Yeah,
Matter
you
of fact, I'll be going through the Turning Adversity to Advantage on the Con and the Duck podcast. He's going through his Live Loved program, and then the second phase will be me going through that. So people will be able to see that. But the Right and Freedom is not just that workbook, it's also a lot more in which I have to offer. So
okay. So send me the link to the podcast. So when do your podcast air?
there's a couple that's already on there, but I think
Okay, so just text me
yeah,
the link
I'll
and
text
I'll
you.
put my
Yeah,
notifications
definitely.
on so that I can tap in. And then I will share it on my platform as well so other people can tap into as well. This is what we do. This is how we support one another. We don't gatekeep information. We share it because it takes a village. It
Absolutely.
really do. So over here, that's what we do. We do not gatekeep information. We give it away intentionally over here. Yes, Miss Lamanda, forward ever back was never. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes, yes. Support and understanding. Indeed. Indeed. Okay. So with that said, I will have Mr. Russell back. I will. We will talk behind the scenes so that I can get his availability. I will have him back. I think I'm gonna do a panel. I don't know. But anyway, I have a lot of ideas. But right now I'm gonna slow it down. Don't click off yet, okay?
All right.
All right. In the meantime, between time, I see you all next Wednesday. It is your girl Pusher. If you're not pushing forward, you're moving backwards. Say it out loud. Forward ever, backwards never. Do not forget to go over to pusherlife.org and take the pledge Healing 1 million people, one person at a time. We healing out loud, people.
Oh, we back, baby. The way we winning, they gon' have to look away. I just stop pretending, know you feel some type of way. Yeah, I'm in my purpose, I don't know what else to say. Out the cage, I'm here to stay. Rolling up my sleeves. I am not playing, I'm not playing, I am not playing. Hear what I'm saying?